evening to one and all. You guys have seen me interviewing a lot of members, say stall owners or subcommittee members, but today it's not just general, it's someone special. Managing committee member of Numaish, Sir Ashfaq Hyder. Good evening, sir.
Evening.
How are you?
Good, thank you.
First of all, I would like to ask you, how do you feel being the member of Numaish Exhibition Society?
I feel lucky, really speaking, because Exhibition Society is doing tremendous work, and we are dedicated to the cause of various things. Most importantly, it's the education. We are running some 20 institutions. Most of them are in backward areas of Telangana. Yeah. So we are trying our best to provide quality education to the students of those backward areas. Though we also have very good colleges in the city of Hyderabad also. Yeah. And our concentration in the beginning was to provide education mostly for girls. Yeah. But things have changed. Time has changed. So some of the colleges, they have co-education over there. Yeah. So that's how it is. Then we also promote, we give an opportunity to the businessmen and industrialists to exhibit their products, to sell their products. Whatever new they are manufacturing, they can display here, and they are able to also take orders or to sell on the spot. Yeah, and people from almost all the states of the country, they come here, they put up stalls, and people here, they are excited also because they can't go to Kashmir, they can't go to other states, to buy things, so they are able to get most of the things over here.
Yes.
So that's how it is. That is one. Then we also, during our exhibition period, which is for about 46 days, starting from 1st of January to 15th of February, we generate employment over here for about 10,000 people. We are able to employ, see that they get employment here during that period. Yeah. So, and the entry tickets is so reasonable. It's 50 rupees. Going to a cinema theater, it costs much higher. So they come over here with their families. They have a good time, and they are able to, besides shopping, they can relax here. They can go and enjoy on the amusement rides, and then they can also listen to all the music that is played over here, good old songs from the good old days, and then also some cultural programs that we conduct here on the stage.
Yes.
Yeah, so that's it. That's our objective, and we are trying our best to fulfill. We are all honorary members, mind you. Yeah. We spend our own money and come here and work for this cause. We have a sentimental attachment also with this exhibition. For instance, I'll talk about myself. My father was one of the founders. Yeah. He was secretary from 1947 to 48. He was secretary. Yeah. So he was one of those few Usmania graduates who established first this Usmania Graduates Association, and they thought of, at that time, this state was ruled by the Nizam. Yeah, this was the Nizam's kingdom. So, and most of the things in those days, 1938 was the first year when we ran our first exhibition. 1938, you can imagine that. So the Usmania Graduates Association members, who were very active at that time, they first established an organization called as Economic Committee. Now, Economic Committee's purpose was to hold seminars and workshops. They used to call experts for these seminars and workshops, and their recommendations we used to forward to the government of the Nizam at that time. So then the economic committee thought of, why not we also have an exhibition where, we can, because some of the items were being locally manufactured. Otherwise, most of the things were imported those days. Everything was not manufactured. I remember when I was in school, the pencil that I used to use was made in Germany. Can you imagine? A pencil that is made in Germany.
All the way imported from Germany.
So yes, they used to import from Germany, they used to import from England, France, all those places. Yeah. So that's how it was. See, very few, manufacturers and industries, they came up during that time. For instance, we had this Nizam Sugar Factory. Then we had one called as Deccan Button Factory. They used to manufacture buttons. Yeah. Then there was this Golconda Cigar Factory. Then there was one called as Haji Qurban Hussain. Until recently, they used to have their big shop here at Abbott's, Haji Qurban Hussain. So like that, there were few local entrepreneurs. So they were just coming up. They wanted to sell their products here. And of course, because most of the things are imported, the items that were manufactured by these people, they tried to match those items which were imported. You can imagine, that was the kind of quality that was being maintained. So we sent the proposal to the Nizam's government that we want to have an exhibition, where we'll give an opportunity, and we got very good support from Nizam's government at that time. Yeah. And we were informed that in the old public gardens, already some 100 stalls were already ready there. Why they were ready? Because Nizam in that year celebrated the silver jubilee of his king, his taking over as a king, as a ruler, as a Nizam. So that was being celebrated. For that they had constructed those stalls. So they were all ready for us. So they said you can have that. And government departments during that time, for instance, municipal corporation, your electricity department, everything was provided free. The municipal corporation, they used to clean the ground every day free of cost. We don't have to pay anything at all. That was the kind of support we got from. Today we have to pay to everybody.
Yeah.
All departments. We have to pay crores and crores of rupees we are paying. It doesn't matter, we are paying to the government. And we do get a lot of cooperation from the government. There's absolutely no doubt about it. So with the cooperation of the government, unfortunately, a very dynamic minister is our president right now. He is very helpful, and he has helped us, in dealing with certain matters related to this municipal corporation and other departments. Sridhar Babu, of course, a very dynamic gentleman. I am personally very impressed with him.
Thank you for a lot of information, sir. May I ask you, for how many years have you been serving for the Exhibition Society?
Almost 35 years. I became a member in 1990. Yeah, I was actually I became a member because of my father. At that time, as I told you, my father was one of the founders.
Yes.
So he was past secretary and past vice president and all that. So he got an opportunity to make me a member.
Yes.
So that is how I became a member at that time. I was already working for an airline.
Okay.
Yeah, I was area manager for Kuwait Airways. You must have heard.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
I was in charge of the whole of AP.
Oh.
Yeah, so I was area sales manager at that time. So he made me a member here. So then I started coming here. learned so many things from all my seniors and elders at that time. And you can call me as chief of the old block. Yeah. So I'm trying to continue the same what I have learned from my elders and seniors. And I wish, my juniors also, because you see, it took such a long time for them to establish a system here which was so perfect
Yes.
in many ways. Yeah. So they were all, as I said, we are all honorary members. So were they. They used to come here every day, and during exhibition period, at least twice we come here, morning and evening, and many members they stay until very late in the night. So exhibition, the problem is this land is the issue. Let me tell you. This land is, though this land was given to us by the Nizam somewhere in 1941, because that where we had our exhibition in the old public gardens, that was not being sufficient.
Yes.
It had become so popular, lot of visitors started coming in, and lot of demand was there for the stalls, to be put up over there. Then there was no place. So the Nizam's government, they offered, they said, why don't you come and, you run your exhibition here. There was nothing here in this road itself, except for the Mazanjai market and Nampally station. In between, there was nothing. Nothing. So this was almost 50 acres of land that was given to us at that time. Now we are left over with only 19 point something. Where from, these housing boards and all those, Gandhi Bhavan, where from they have, cropped up, I don't know. Let me be very frank. Where from they got all this, how, our own people, the thing is, our own, let me be very frank. I'm like that,
Yes.
I call a spade, I'm like that. Our seniors at that time, most of them were in the government. They were in the government. Yeah. So, because they were in the government, and that was the government, that was the Congress government at that time, very well. So these people wanted to please those politicians probably, and started giving away lands. Yeah. Whose land? This is not government land. Now you can claim it as government. We had won the case in the High Court, single bench and division bench, long back. Then what happened? The government went for a special leave petition with the Supreme Court. Subhashan Reddy, Justice Subhashan Reddy was the Chief Justice of High Court. He gave the judgment in our favor. But the government went to Supreme Court and filed a SLP, special leave petition, challenging the judgments of the High Court. Unfortunately, the advocate whom we had appointed, Supreme Court advocate in Delhi, that fellow went away to America. There was nobody to represent us. That is what has happened, unfortunately. And I remember I was the treasurer at that time when our case, the final hearing was coming up. That was coming up within, some 4-5 days. There was one lady advocate called as Bharati Reddy. Bharati Reddy in Delhi. She was the junior of that Supreme Court advocate who went away to America. That lady calls me and she says, I don't know anything about your case. I don't have a single paper here with me. So please can you send me some, so that now. Another important thing is she was appointed as a government pleader by the government. Already she was appointed. So when she is going to be there as a government pleader, you think she would, argue in our favor? It's quite Obvious, quite obvious.
Yes.
Yeah. So, advocate gone away. This lady doesn't know anything, and she calls me. Then what I did? The file I had, I took out copies of all the papers that were there, all the correspondence, made another file, and then couriered to her, sent it by courier, the file.
To the US.
To
No, to the
no,
lady.
to the
Bharati.
lady in Delhi, Bharati
Bharati
Reddy
Reddy.
in Delhi. Yeah. So what happened? The Supreme Court, they set aside the decision of the High Court, and they said this is a matter related to property. So a civil suit should be filed either by Exhibition Society or by the government. Civil suit here, again, back to
Square one.
square one. So I had contacted the lawyer, a very eminent lawyer, his name was Pratap Reddy. Pratap Reddy was a very senior and very respected advocate of Hyderabad. He is the one who pleaded in our favor and won the cases in High Court. He was the one. I went to him. I showed him the judgment copy and all that. He said, no, you file again. He said, I guarantee you, you will win the case. But some of our people who are in the government, they said, no, we should not go against the government, we should not fight. What government? Government is because of people. Who elects the government?
By the people.
Of course, by the people, for the people. As you know, our finance minister Nirmala Sitharaman also, she said yesterday or today, this is for the people, by the people. Yes. And now for whose sake we are doing all this? For people of this state. Yeah. So, I have discussed also with our Siddha Babu about this. They should give the land to us so that what we can do is we can have a two-level ground. We'll have underground parking, then all the parking problems will be solved.
Yes.
This is the major problem.
This
for
is
the-
the
In the
major
entire
problem. Anyone
major
who comes
problem.
here have
Now,
to think
lot
about
of people are not able to come here because there is no parking.
Yeah.
You can't expect them to, park somewhere in the old public gardens or somewhere there and then come walking here. People coming from, Gachibowli or, Kompally or whatever it is. They can't, so that's the problem. If the land is given to us by the government, we'll have underground, we'll call a architect of international standard. We can even call a internationally reputed architect. Need not be from India. He could be from any foreign country. We'll invite him. We'll pay the charges. We'll see that we have a exhibition ground of international standards. We'll have permanent structures here. We can even have, during summer vacations also, we can have indoor exhibitions here. We can do that.
Yeah.
But now there is, because of all the uncertainty, the sword is hanging over our heads, and we are made to pay crores of rupees to the government departments every year. I remember once, the municipal commissioner, so long back, many years back, he said, what can I do? The government doesn't pay any money to me. From where am I going to pay salaries of my staff? So he was depending on Exhibition Society to pay salaries of Municipal Corporation of Hyderabad staff. Such was the, sorry state of affairs, unfortunately. So, the most ideal thing is, most of the people who come here, they are, either from poor or middle class families. Most of them. They are looking for, very cheap and economical entertainment. They have a lovely time here. They look forward. Even people coming from abroad, from foreign countries, they come in the month of December and they include visit to our exhibition in their itinerary. It is always included, visit to our exhibition. They plan like that. See, our exhibitions or Numaish is of international fame. We need support from the government. And as I said, they should We are not going to become a burden on the government, whether this government or future government. No, we will not become a burden. This will be good for the state of Telangana, good for the twin cities of Hyderabad and Secunderabad and surrounding areas. They should trust us. We are not going to run away, Are we going to sell away the land and go away from here?
No.
Then, I mean, if somebody is thinking like that, it's ridiculous.
Yes.
Yeah. So that is all I want to say. So thank you very much. You have given me an opportunity
Yes.
so that I could spell out and let you know, because I know very well the history, how this was, and you can imagine if this was government land. The Nizam himself has come and inaugurated our exhibition in 1945. 1945 he came and inaugurated himself. The first exhibition was inaugurated by the Prime Minister of Nizam's government in 1938. Yes. The Crown Prince inaugurated once. That is what when I went and met YSR, I had gone with my colleagues, all MC members, managing committee members once. YSR had already inaugurated the first year. Second year I went there. He said, we went to Secretariat, to his chamber, to his office, to invite him to inaugurate the exhibition second time. He said, no, last year I have already inaugurated. No, why don't you call somebody else? Everybody left except me. I pulled the chair in front of him, sat on the chair. I said, sir, it's been a tradition of Exhibition Society that the Chief Minister, as long as he is in power here, he inaugurates on the 1st of January. This is our tradition. In fact, the Chief Minister looks forward to the 1st of January, the New Year Day, to come here and not just inaugurate, they also make important announcements about some policies of the government in our exhibition ground. They use our forum to do that. Then I reminded him, I said, Chandrababu Naidu inaugurated our exhibition for 9 times. 9 years he was in power here, 9 years he came. He used to look forward.
Before separation of the Andhra Pradesh and Telangana.
Yes, yes. NTR inaugurated, he was here for 5 years. 5 years he inaugurated our exhibition. You can see on the board outside.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a list of people who
The first president of the Indian Union, Dr. Rajendra Prasad, inaugurated. Pandit Nehru, laid the foundation for our first institution, Kamala Nehru Polytechnic. None other than Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru. He laid the foundation stone. That was the kind of because they knew what our objective is and how what is the purpose of our being here. Unfortunately, our PR seems to be very weak. I will try to take the blame on ourselves only. I am not blaming anybody else. Yeah. All we need is, give us an opportunity to hear us, listen to us. My appeal to the Chief Minister, give us, patient hearing so that I can explain, what is it that we have been doing, what is it that we want to do now, what we are doing now, and what we want to do in the future, how it's going to be beneficial. So that, he can think about our case more sympathetically. That is what my appeal is.
Also, I would like to ask, how do you envision Numaish for the future years ahead? And how do you imagine it to be?
Well, I imagine that our exhibition should be made, should be made to the international level, to international standard.
Yeah.
We should have, sort of permanent and stalls, And even, as I said, permanent sheds we can have where we can conduct even indoor exhibitions,
Yeah.
especially during summertime when the schools are closed, and the parents, they can come with their children and they can have and these indoor exhibitions will be air conditioned, and we want to have, as I said, other industries also, they can, for instance, auto show and things like that,
Yeah.
automobile show and things like that, they should be able to, but that they will do it only if we provide all the facilities. Parking is, as I said, parking is the biggest problem here.
Yeah.
So once the land matter is settled, we get the land, then, as I said, we'll call the architect of international standards here, and then he will give us a plan where we'll have underground parking, and then we'll have permanent structures over here, at the ground level.
Yes.
We can do that. So the Numaish is there to run educational institutions,
Yeah.
to promote industries, to promote businessmen,
Yes.
entrepreneurs.
Yes.
All those people, they can utilize our exhibition grounds, utilize all the facilities that we are providing here. So that way, we'll be able to start more institutions, job-oriented courses we can run there in those institutions, and we can have some new professional courses
Yes.
which are of international standards.
Yes.
We can do all those things. So we need funds for that.
Yes.
So as I said, Numaish is the only source of income. Yeah. So see, these are the things the government is supposed to do.
Yes.
We are doing. So government should be thankful, and government should help us.
Yes.
They should cooperate us. As I said, whatever we are doing is supposed to be taken care of by the elected representatives
Yeah.
of the government,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
People elect the government.
Yeah.
The government doesn't come, from heaven.
Right.
The government is elected by people.
Yes.
Why? Because people have certain expectations from the government. Whichever party comes into the power, the promises that they make, when they go and do the campaigning and all that. So to fulfill that, one of the main thing will be, very important thing is education, employment. Today the biggest problem is employment.
Yes.
Yeah. So that is what, we are thinking about, and that is what we have in our mind.
One last question. What advice would you like to give to the future generation who is wanting to get into Numaish or be a part of Numaish?
Yeah. See, as I said, when we became members, we looked at our seniors and our elders.
Yes.
Yeah. How dedicated they were.
Yeah.
And selflessly they used to work. So much time they used to give here and all that. We learned from them.
Yes.
So I want the next generation members who are now members, who have just recently become members. I want them to follow the same footsteps as our founders and then later on our elders have done. Yeah, they have to understand what our objective is. That's more important.
Yes.
They have to understand, this is what? Selfless. We are honorary members,
Yes.
as I said. Yeah. So that sort of attachment they should have. Okay?
Yes.
Right?
Thank you so
Thank
much
you.
for sharing
Thank
the
you.
information
Thank
with
you.
us.
Thank
Yeah.
You're welcome.
It
You're
was a
welcome.
good time with you.
Okay, sure.